Good evening, everyone. Tonight we slip into the tales of the Umi Zato, Dorotabo, Yanagi Baba, and Kama Yurei, stories to lull you into sleep. Like and subscribe if you enjoy, and let's dive in. In the soft cradle of twilight, where the sea kisses the sky, there lies a stretch of ocean off the coast of a forgotten village. The waters here are deep and gentle, their surface a mirror for the stars that awaken one by one. The air carries the scent of salt and secrets, and the waves hum a lullaby older than memory. This is the realm of the Umi Zato, a blind sea spirit whose presence is felt rather than seen, a whisper on the wind, a ripple in the tide. Long ago, sailors spoke of a figure draped in robes of kelp and moonlight, gliding across the waves. His eyes, clouded like pearls, saw not the world of form, but the threads of stories woven through time. The Umi Zato, they said, was no mere spirit, but a keeper of tales, reciting ancient legends to ships that wandered too far from shore. His voice, soft as sea foam, could soothe the weariest heart, guiding lost souls to peace. On this night, a small fishing boat drifts under a crescent moon. Aboard is Hana, a weaver from the village, her hands calloused from years at the loom. She is not a sailor, but grief has driven her to the sea. Her brother Taro was lost to a storm last spring, and the village whispers that his spirit lingers, unmoored. Hana seeks the Umi Zato, hoping his stories might call Taro's soul to rest. The boat rocks gently, and she clutches a lantern, its glow a tiny sun against the vast dark. The sea is calm, its surface unbroken save for the occasional leap of a fish. Hana listens, her breath syncing with the rhythm of the waves. Somewhere in the distance, a low hum rises, not a song but a cadence, like poetry spoken in dreams. The air grows warm, and the stars seem to lean closer. Hana's heart steadies. She knows the Umi Zato is near. The hum grows clearer, weaving through the night like a thread through cloth. Hana sets her lantern down and leans over the boat's edge, peering into the water. The sea reflects her face, but beneath it, something stirs, a shadow that is not her own. It is formless yet alive, gliding with the grace of a current. Umi Zato, she whispers, her voice trembling with hope and fear. The shadow pauses, and the hum becomes words, soft and deliberate. Who seeks the tales of the sea? The voice asks, each syllable a ripple across the water. Hana's throat tightens. She speaks of Taro, her words spilling like offerings. His laughter, his love for the ocean, the storm that claimed him. She begs the Umi Zato to tell a story that might guide his spirit home. The spirit listens, silent but present. Then, slowly, he begins a tale. It is of a fisherman who loved the sea too dearly, who sailed into a tempest to save his crew. The story is vivid, painted in hues of salt and starlight, but it is not Taro's. Hana's heart sinks. Please, she says, I need my brother's story. The Umi Zato's voice falters, and the sea grows still, as if holding its breath. I see only the tales that come to me, the spirit says, his tone heavy with sorrow. Your brother's story is hidden, tangled in grief. Hana's chest aches. She has heard the village elders speak of the Umi Zato's limits. His blindness binds him to the past, not the present. If Taro's spirit is lost, His tail may be beyond the spirit's reach. Doubt creeps in, cold as the tide. Has she come all this way for nothing? The boat drifts farther from shore, carried by an unseen current. The stars dim, and a faint mist rises, curling around Hana like a shroud. The Umi Zato speaks again, offering another tale, this one of a merchant who found peace on a distant island. But Hana cannot listen. Her grief is a weight, pulling her toward despair. She wonders if Taro is truly gone, or if her own heart is too heavy to hear the spirit's truth. The mist thickens, and the sea grows restless, its waves lapping at the boat with quiet urgency. Hana's lantern flickers, casting shadows that dance like memories. She closes her eyes, picturing Taro's face, his smile as he hauled nets under the sun. "I won't leave you," she whispers, though she knows not if she speaks to him or herself. The Umi Zato's voice returns, softer now, almost a caress. "Your love is a lantern," he says. "It calls to what is lost." Hana opens her eyes. The spirit is closer, his form clearer, a silhouette of kelp and light, his pearl eyes glowing faintly. He speaks not a story, but a question. What tale would you tell of Taro, if you could weave it yourself? Hana hesitates, her breath catching. She has never thought to tell her own story, only to seek another's. But the words come, unbidden, like waves to the shore. She speaks of Taro's kindness, how he shared his catch with the village children, how he sang to the sea on quiet nights. She tells of the storm, not with anger, but with sorrow, and of her hope that he is at peace, somewhere beyond the horizon. As she speaks, the mist parts, and the sea glows with a soft luminescence, as if the stars have fallen into the water. The Umi Zato listens, his presence a steady pulse. When Hana finishes, tears wet her cheeks, but her heart feels lighter, as if she has set down a burden. The spirit's voice rises again, and this time it carries Taro's name. The tale he tells is hers, reshaped by the sea's ancient magic. It is of a fisherman who became the sea's own, his spirit woven into the tides, watching over his sister from the deep. The story is both familiar and new, a bridge between Hana's grief and her hope. The sea calms, and the lantern burns steady, its light a beacon in the night. The Umi Zato's voice fades, leaving a silence that is not empty, but full, like the pause between breaths. Hana sits back, her hands resting on the boat's worn wood. The sea is a mirror again, reflecting a sky now bright with stars. The mist is gone, and the air is warm, scented with salt and peace. She feels Taro's presence, not as a ghost, but as a warmth in her heart, a whisper in the waves. The Umi Zato has not returned him to her, but he has given her something else, a story that holds her love, her loss, and her healing. She knows now that Taro is not lost, only changed, a part of the sea that will always cradle her. The spirit speaks one final time. "Your tale is now mine," he says, "to share with the winds and the waves." Hana smiles, her first true smile since the storm. She thanks the Umi Zato, her voice steady, and promises to return to the village with his stories, to weave them into her own tapestries for others to hear. As she rows back to shore, the sea sings beneath her, a melody of stories old and new. The crescent moon watches, a quiet guardian, and the stars twinkle as if in approval. Hana's lantern glows, guiding her home, and though her grief remains, it is softer now, a thread in the larger tapestry of her life. The Umi Zato lingers in the deep, his pearl eyes turn to the horizon. Another ship will come, another soul seeking solace, and he will be there, reciting tales that mend the heart. For now, the sea is still, and the night is kind, wrapping the world in a blanket of stars. In a verdant valley, where rice fields ripple like green seas under the sky, the earth breathes with quiet life. At dusk, the horizon blushes rose and gold, and fireflies weave delicate patterns over paddies that shimmer with the day's last light. The air is rich with the scent of mud, rice, and the promise of growth, a fragrance that speaks of cycles older than memory. This is the domain of the Dorotabo, a spirit born of the fields, rising from the mire to ensure the harvest thrives, its presence a silent vow to the land. Farmers share tales of a figure glimpsed in the twilight, its form one with the mud, leaving only footprints that gleam like polished stone. The Dorotabo, they say, blesses those who honor the earth, guarding the rice with care as ancient as the valley itself. Tonight, a young farmer, Daichi, kneels in a struggling field, his hands stained with the soil he has worked since childhood. A drought has withered his crops, leaving the paddies cracked and brittle, and the village teeters on the edge of hunger. Daichi has heard the elder stories of the Dorotabo and prays for its aid, hoping to save his fields and his people. Daichi scatters offerings of rice and millet, his fingers trembling with both reverence and fear. The field is quiet, save for the rustle of dry stalks in a faint breeze, their whispers like a plea for rain. The fireflies glow softly, their light a constellation against the deepening blue. A low rumble stirs the earth, subtle at first, like a heartbeat beneath the mud. Daichi's breath catches, his heart quickening. The air grows heavy, scented with wet earth and possibility, and the fireflies flare brighter, as if welcoming a presence. Daichi feels the Dorotabo near, its silent promise woven into the valley's pulse, a quiet hope that the land might yet be renewed. The rumble deepens, a steady pulse vibrating through the soil, as if the earth itself is awakening. Daichi stands, his eyes scanning the field, where shadows shift in the mud, formless yet alive, like ripples spreading across a still pond. Dorotabo, he calls, his voice low but earnest, offering thanks for past harvests and prayers for this one. He speaks of the drought that has parched the valley, of the village's hunger, of his fear that his efforts have been too little, too late. His words are a farmer's hymn, rough but sincere, rooted in love for the land. A breeze stirs, carrying a sigh that is not the wind's, and the shadows pause, as if listening. The Dorotabo responds, not in words, but in a vision that blooms in Daichi's mind. A field lush with rice, its stalks swaying under a full moon, heavy with grain. The image is so vivid he can smell the rain, feel the cool earth underfoot. But the vision shifts, replaced by cracked soil, withered stalks, and a sky empty of clouds. Daichi's heart lurches, the hope he held slipping like sand through his fingers. "What must I do?" he asks, his voice breaking. But the earth falls silent, the rumble fading. The elders warned that the Dorotabo aids only those who prove their devotion to the land, who tend it with heart as well as hand. Daichi has toiled day and night, watering the fields with what little he could spare. But he recalls his uncle's neglect years ago, how he stripped the soil for profit, leaving it weak. Has the Dorotabo judged Daichi for the sins of his kin? The fireflies dim, their light swallowed by the growing dark, and a chill settles over the field, sharp against his skin. Doubt gnaws at him, whispering that the spirit has turned away, that the harvest is lost. Daichi kneels again, his hands sinking into the dry mud, his prayers growing desperate. He offers more rice, more promises, but the earth remains still, and he fears he has failed. Not just the land, but the village that depends on him. The mud grows warm beneath Daichi's hands, a subtle shift that pulls him from despair. The rumble returns, stronger now, like a song rising from the earth's heart. He looks up, the fireflies swirling around him, their light a constellation that pulses with life. The Dorotabo's presence is undeniable, a weight in the air, a call to listen, to remember. Daichi closes his eyes, his mind flooding with memories, his grandmother's hands guiding his to plant the first seeds, her songs to the fields at dawn, her teachings that the land is a partner, not a servant. He speaks aloud, not to beg but to vow, his voice steady despite the tears that wet his cheeks. He promises to honor the earth, to tend it with love and patience, to teach the village to care as his grandmother did, to heal the wounds left by neglect. He speaks of his childhood, of running through the fields, of the joy he found in their bounty, and his resolve to restore that life. His words are a seed planted in the night, each one sinking into the soil, binding him to the land. The earth trembles, a gentle quake that ripples through the field, and the vision returns. Lush rice fields, but now with Daichi tending them, his hands in the mud, his heart open. The fireflies flare, their light a golden halo, and a soft rain begins, its droplets kissing the cracked soil, filling the air with the scent of renewal. The Dorotabo's blessing is clear, not a gift freely given, but a partnership forged in trust. Daichi weeps, not from sorrow, but from gratitude, feeling the land's pulse match his own, a rhythm of hope and growth. The field is alive again, its potential stirring beneath the rain, and Daichi knows the harvest is possible, his vow sealed in the warm, wet earth. The rain slows to a drizzle, leaving the field shimmering under a sky now bright with stars. Daichi stands, mud clinging to his hands and knees, a badge of his promise. The fireflies drift away, their light a gentle farewell, and the air is warm, scented with wet earth and the green promise of rice. The Dorotabo's presence lingers, a warmth in the soil, a quiet nod to Daichi's resolve. He turns toward the village, his heart light despite the long work ahead. He will share the Dorotabo's lesson, teaching the others to love the land, to plant with care, to sing to the fields as his grandmother did. The paddies, once brittle, now hold hope, their soil softened by rain, ready for new seeds. Daichi smiles, feeling his grandmother's spirit in the breeze, her pride a soft whisper in the night. He walks home, the stars guiding his steps, the valley's pulse a steady rhythm beneath his feet. The Dorotabo sinks back into the mud, its work complete for now. Another farmer will come, another field will need its care, and it will rise again, silent and steadfast. The valley rests, its rice fields dreaming under a gentle sky, their green waves whispering of harvests yet to come. Daichi carries the promise of renewal, his vow a seed that will grow with the rice, binding him to the land and his quiet, ancient spirit. In a hillside village, where rice fields climb toward the heavens like steps to the stars, the night is crisp and clear, a canvas of infinite blue. Lanterns glow along winding dirt paths, their light warm against the cool air, scented with straw, earth, and the lingering warmth of the day sun. This is the realm of the Kama Yurei, a spirit who moves unseen through the fields, sharpening farmers' sickles under moonlight, ensuring their blades cut true, their harvests bountiful. Elders whisper of a shadow that glides through the paddies, leaving tools honed to perfection, its work a silent gift to those who labor with care. The Kama Yurei, they say, blesses those who respect their craft, its presence a quiet nod to the bond between farmer and field. Tonight, a farmer, Riku, sits outside his weathered shed, a dull sickle in his calloused hands. His fields have yielded little this season, his family's stores dwindling, and he doubts his skill, his worth as a provider. The tales of the Kama Yurei have reached him, and he hopes for its aid, a spark to renew his fading hope. Riku places the sickle on a flat stone, offering a prayer woven with gratitude and need. The fields are quiet, save for the soft chirp of crickets and the rustle of rice stalks in a gentle breeze. A faint metallic hum rises, sharp and rhythmic, like a blade kissed by a whetstone. Riku's heart lifts, a flicker of hope kindling within him. The lanterns flicker, their light dancing on the shed's wooden walls, and the air grows warm, scented with earth and iron. Riku feels the Kama Yurei near, its silent work a promise that the fields might yet provide, that his hands might yet be enough. The hum sharpens, a steady rhythm cutting through the night, as if the stars themselves are listening. Riku peers into the dark, where shadows shift around the shed, fleeting and alive, like sparks from a forge. The sickle on the stone gleams, its edge now keen, a sliver of moonlight caught in steel. But his other tools, scythes, hoes, remain dull, their blades untouched. Kama Yurei, Riku calls softly, his voice a mix of awe and urgency, thanking the spirit for its gift, pleading for more. He speaks of his struggling fields, his children's hunger, his fear that he has failed them. His words, a farmer's confession, raw and unpolished. The hum pauses, and a breeze carries a whisper. Not words, but a sense of judgment, sharp as the sickle's edge. The Kama Yurei aids those who honor their craft, who tend their tools with the same care they give the land. Riku has worked tirelessly, but in his haste to save the harvest, he has neglected his blades, leaving them blunt and rusted. The elders warn that the spirit's help is earned, a reward for diligence, not a gift for desperation. Riku's chest tightens, guilt mingling with fear. Has his carelessness cost him the Kama Yurei's favor? Has he doomed his family to want? The lanterns dim, their light swallowed by the night, and the fields feel empty, their silence a rebuke. Riku tries to sharpen another sickle, his hands trembling, but the blade remains dull, mocking his efforts. Doubt creeps in, a cold weight whispering that he is unworthy, that his family will suffer for his flaws. He sits, staring at the gleaming sickle, its perfection a contrast to his failure. The hum is gone, the shadows still, and Riku fears the Kama Yurei has left him, his prayers unanswered, his fields forsaken. The hum returns, sharp and clear, cutting through the silence like a blade through straw. The air grows warm, and Riku looks up, the shed bathed in moonlight, shadows dancing like embers on the wind. The Kama Yurei's presence is a steady pulse, a call to reflect, to remember the lessons of his craft. Riku closes his eyes, his mind filled with his father's teachings. Patience in sharpening a blade, respect for the tools that feed them, the rhythm of work that binds farmer to field. He speaks aloud, not to beg but to promise, his voice firm despite the tears that brim in his eyes. He vows to honor his craft, to tend his tools with care, to work with the land's rhythm, not against it. He speaks of his childhood, of watching his father hone sickles by lantern light, of the pride he felt in their harvests, and his resolve to reclaim that care. His words are a pledge, each one a stroke of the whetstone, sharpening his heart as much as his blades. The hum rises, a song of approval, and the sickle in Riku's hand gleams, joined by the other tools in the shed. Scythes, hoes, all honed to perfection, their edges catching the moonlight. The lanterns flare, their light warm and steady, and a soft wind rustles the fields, carrying the scent of fresh straw. Riku feels the Kama Yurei's blessing, a silent pact sealed in steel. He smiles, tears falling, knowing his work will feed his family, his promise etched in the blade's shine. The fields seem alive, their stalks whispering of harvest to come, ready for his careful hands. The hum fades, leaving a silence full of hope, like the fields before dawn, pregnant with possibility. Riku gathers his tools, their edges gleaming under the stars, each one a testament to his vow. The air is crisp, scented with earth and the faint tang of iron, a reminder of the night's work. The Kama Yurei's presence lingers, a warmth in the shed, a quiet approval that settles in Riku's heart. He returns to his home, carrying tools and a renewed resolve. He will teach his children to care for their craft, to sharpen their blades with patience, to honor the land and its spirits. The fields, once sparse, now hold potential, their soil ready for his hands, their stalks strengthened by his care. Riku smiles, feeling his father's pride in the night's quiet, a whisper of approval in the breeze. He steps into his home, the lantern's glow welcoming him, the promise of a harvest bright in his mind. The Kama Yurei moves on, its work done, its shadow gliding to another field, another farmer in need. The village sleeps, its rice fields dreaming under a gentle moon, their green waves whispering of bounty. Riku rests, his tools ready, his heart steady, the night wrapping him in peace, ready for the dawn's work. By a meandering river, where willows drape their branches like emerald curtains, the night is a tapestry of quiet beauty. The water murmurs softly, its surface a mirror for a sky dusted with stars, their light trembling in the gentle current. The air is cool, scented with moss, river reeds, and the faint sweetness of memory, a fragrance that soothes the heart. This is the home of the Yanagi Baba, a spirit who sways with the willows, her presence a balm for restless souls, weaving peace from the river's endless flow. Villagers speak in reverent tones of a figure glimpsed at dusk, her form blending with the trees, her gentle touch easing the pain of those who grieve. The Yanagi Baba, they say, listens to the river's secrets, her lullabies calming even the most troubled spirits. Tonight, a widower, Haruto, sits on the riverbank, his heart heavy as the stones beneath him. His wife Sana passed last summer, her warmth stolen by illness, and Haruto cannot release the sorrow that binds him, his days shadowed by her absence. Haruto holds a small wooden comb, Sana's favorite, its smooth surface worn by her touch. He whispers her name, the sound blending with the river's song. The willows sway, though the air is still, their branches trailing in the water like fingers brushing a loved one's hair. A soft hum rises, delicate as a mother's lullaby, and the river glimmers, its ripples catching starlight. Haruto's tears fall, but his breath slows, his heart finding a moment's calm. The Yanagi Baba is near, her presence a gentle promise of solace, woven into the night's quiet embrace. The hum grows, weaving through the willows like a thread through fine cloth, its cadence soothing yet insistent. Haruto clutches the comb, his eyes fixed on the river, where the water ripples with shadows that dance like memories, alive and fleeting. Yanagi Baba, he murmurs, his voice thick with grief, asking for peace, for a sign that Sana's spirit rests. He speaks of her, her gentle hands, her laughter that filled their home, the illness that took her too soon. His words are a prayer, each one a step toward healing, yet heavy with longing. The shadows still, and the hum softens, as if the river itself is listening. A vision forms in the water, a woman dancing by the river, her movements light and joyful, her hair catching the sunlight. Haruto's heart leaps, but the image fades, replaced by his own reflection, lined with sorrow. "Please, show me Sana," he begs, his voice breaking. But the river grows silent, its surface smooth as glass. The elders warn that the Yanagi Baba soothes but cannot summon spirits, that her aid depends on the heart's willingness to release. If Sana's soul is restless, Haruto's grief may be a chain, holding her to this world. The willows droop, their branches heavy, and a chill creeps into the air, sharp against Haruto's skin. He fears his pain has driven Sana away, that his refusal to let go keeps her spirit bound. Doubt tightens his chest, whispering that peace is beyond him, that he is doomed to carry this sorrow forever. The river flows on, its murmurs indifferent, and Haruto feels alone, the comb a weight in his hand, a relic of a life he cannot reclaim. He tries to speak again, to plead, but his words falter, lost in the night's growing stillness. The river stirs, its ripples catching starlight like scattered diamonds, and the hum returns, warm and enveloping, like a hand on a weary shoulder. Haruto looks up, the willows swaying as if reaching for him, their branches alive with gentle motion. The Yanagi Baba's presence is a soft weight, a call to speak, to unweave the knot of his grief. Haruto closes his eyes, Sana's face clear in his mind, her smile as she combed her hair, her voice humming by the river, her warmth that made their home a haven. He speaks, not to plead but to release, his voice steady despite the tears that fall. He tells of Sana's kindness, how she tended the village children, how she loved the river's song, how her courage shone even in her final days. He speaks of his love, his sorrow, and his wish to let her go, to free them both from the pain that binds them. His words flow like the river, smooth and unbroken, carrying his grief into the night where it can rest. The water glows, a soft luminescence spreading from the bank, and the vision returns. Sana by the river, not dancing, but sitting peacefully, her face serene under the willows. The willows sway faster, their branches a gentle dance, and a warm breeze carries the scent of wildflowers, Sana's favorite. Haruto feels her presence, not as a wound, but as love, a warmth in the air, a lightness in his heart. The Yanagi Baba has woven his grief into peace, a tapestry of memory and release. Haruto smiles through his tears, the comb light in his hand, a token of love rather than loss. The hum fades, leaving a silence full of calm, like the river's steady flow, a rhythm that cradles the heart. Haruto sits back, the willows still, their branches trailing in the water, reflecting the starry sky. The air is soft, scented with moss and flowers, and the night feels gentle, a blanket of peace draped over the world. Haruto feels Sana, not gone but part of the river, the willows, the quiet night, a presence that will always linger, soft and comforting. The Yanagi Baba has given him a gift, not Sana's return, but a way to carry her love without the weight of sorrow. Haruto thanks the spirit, his voice steady, promising to return to the river, to share this peace with others who grieve, to tell Sana's story as one of joy and light. As he rises, the river sings, a lullaby for the living and the lost, its melody guiding him home. The comb rests in his pocket, no longer a burden, but a reminder of love, a thread in the tapestry of his life. The Yanagi Baba sways with the willows, her work done for now. Another soul will come, another heart will need her care, and she will be there, weaving peace from the river's flow. The night is kind, the river a mirror for the stars, and Haruto walks home, his steps light, the world wrapped in quiet grace, ready for the dawn.